In this video, we'll discuss about the third iteration statement of Java, the for loop. So when do we need to use the for loop? When we exactly know how many times we want to loop through a particular block of code, then we can use the for loop instead of a while loop. So this is how the syntax of a for loop looks like. A for loop consists of three statements: statement 1, statement 2, and statement 3, followed by the code block to be executed. Statement 1 is executed only one time before the execution of the code block. Statement 2, it defines the condition for executing the code block, and statement 3 is executed every time after the code block has been executed. Now let us try to understand the working of a for loop with the help of an example. So this is our example illustrating the use of for loop. So as you can see that inside the for loop we have basically three statements. In the first statement, as you can see, the statement 1, it sets a variable called I before the loop starts. It initializes the variable I to 0. So statement 1 initializes the value I to to value 0. Then statement 2, it defines the condition for the loop to run. So what is the condition here? That the condition is that I must be less than 5. The value of the variable I must be less than 5. So if the condition is true, then the loop will start over again, and if it is false, the loop will end. Next, the statement 3. Statement 3 increases the value of this variable I each time the code block in the loop has been executed. Now let us try to understand what is the sequence of execution of these statements. So first of all, the first statement will get executed, wherein this is an initialization statement, wherein we have initialized the value of the variable I to 0. So after initializing the value of the variable I to 0, the next statement will put on the condition. So here the condition is I is less than 5. I must be less than 5. So the program will check whether this particular condition is true or not. Now in this case, during first iteration, the value of I was initially 0. So since the 0 is less than 5, so the condition has turned out to be true. So as per the sequence, if the condition turns out to be true, then the block of code will get executed. So it is important to note that when the condition is true, we will not go to statement 3. Before going to statement 3, we will first execute a block of code. So now, since the condition is true here, during the first iteration, we will execute a block of code wherein the program is printing the value of I. So since the initial value of I is 0, therefore the first output of the program will be 0. Now after executing this block of code, the next sequence will be to execute statement 3. So as per statement 3, the value of the variable I needs to be incremented. So statement 3 basically increments the value of I. So after incrementing the value of I, the current value of I will now become 1. So after incrementing or executing this statement 3, we will not go to statement 1 because this was the initialization statement and we have already initialized the value of I. So we will again go to this conditional statement or statement 2, wherein we will again check whether the value of I is less than 5. So the current value of I is 1, and 1 is obviously less than 5. So the condition turns out to be true, and as per the sequence of execution of statements, the code block will get executed and the current value of I, that is 1, will be printed in the output. So after executing this block of code, we will again go to the third statement and will increment the value of I. So after incrementing the value of I, the current value of I will now become 2. So as we can see that after incrementing the value of 2, we will again check the condition. So is I or is the value of I still less than 5 or not? Now since the current value of I is 2, which is definitely less than 5, Therefore, we will get inside this code block, we'll execute this code block, and we will print the value or the current value of I, which is 2. So the same steps will be followed every time until and unless the value of I becomes greater than or equal to 5. So after when the value of I reaches 5, the loop will stop because the condition no longer satisfies, because as per the condition or as per the statement 2, value of I must be less than 5. So once we have printed the value of I as 4, or we have executed the this particular code block, and we have reached the value of I as 4, and again after executing the block of code, when we again go to the third statement and increment the value of I, the value of I will now become 5, and after incrementing, when the value of I will become 5, this condition will again be checked. So since as per the condition, the value of I must be less than 5, not greater than or not equal to 5. Now since the value of I has become equal to 5, therefore the condition no longer holds here, and therefore we will just get out of the loop, and the value we'll just get out of the loop as the condition doesn't satisfy, or the condition no longer satisfies. So this is how for loop works basically. So let us try to solve the sum of natural number problem program that we have discussed in the previous videos using while loop and do while loop. So let us try to solve this problem using for loop. So in this program you can see just like the previous cases, we have taken two variables here, num and sum. The value of num has been initialized as 3, and the value of sum has been initialized as 0. We will not declare the value so declare the variable I here just like previous cases, because we are declaring it inside the for loop in statement 1. So we will declare the value of variable I here, as then we'll declare initialize the value of the variable I as 1 here. So after this statement, we will put on the conditional statement or statement 2, and the condition here is the value of I must be less than or equal to the value of the variable num. Then we have the third statement as discussed previously. The third statement will then increment the value of I here. So let us now see how this for loop works at each iteration. During the first iteration, the value of I is definitely 1 because we have initialized it here. After checking the condition whether I is less than equal to num, it has been found that the value of I is 1, and the value of the value of the variable num was 3. So 1 is definitely less than 3. Therefore, the condition holds true, and we will get inside the block. So inside the block we have this statement sum plus equal to I, or like sum equal to sum plus I. And since the initial value of sum was 0 and the initial value of I is 1, therefore the value of sum will become 1. Next, after executing this block of code as discussed earlier, the third statement will get executed, that is we will increment the value of I here. So after incrementing, the value of I will become 2. So after incrementing the value of I as 2, we will again check the condition, is I still less than or it is equal to the value of the variable num. Now since the value of I is 2 and the value of num is 3, that means I is still less than the value of the variable num. Therefore we will get inside the block, and we'll try to execute the code block. So inside the block we have the value of sum as sum equal to sum plus I. So the previous value of sum was 1 and the current value of I is 2. So it will be 1 plus 2, it will be equal to 3. So similarly it will start its third iteration, and the loop will continue until and unless the value of I is less than or equal to num. So once the value of I becomes greater than 1, becomes greater than 3, that is the value of the variable num, the control will exit, or the control will get away from this for loop, and the statement that is outside the for loop will be printed. That is as per the statement outside the for loop, we need to print the value of the final value of sum. So the final value of sum will be printed after the condition no longer holds, and the control will get outside the for loop. So this is how a for loop works in case of Java or any other programming language.